What if I told you the very habit you think brings you pleasure is silently destroying your power, that something sacred within you is being drained moment by moment without you even realizing it? This isn't about religion, it's not about morality, it's about energy, pure, divine, life-giving energy, wasted in secret. For centuries, mystics, monks, and warriors knew that the spirit is not only housed in the mind or soul, but in the body. And that sexual energy, when misused, can slowly kill the very spark that makes you you. The truth? Masturbation, when unconscious, isn't just a private act, it's the spiritual death of greatness. Why do you think you feel tired, lost, unmotivated? There's a deeper reason, and it's not something they teach you in school. You've been robbed, not by someone outside you, but by a system that keeps you blind to the secret inside. A secret that, once remembered, can transform your mind, your body, and your destiny. In this video, we're going to uncover what no one dares to say out loud, the secret behind why masturbation is killing your spirit, and what you can do to rise from the ashes. The question is, are you ready to remember who you are? There's a secret most people never hear, not in school, not in church, not even in therapy. It's the truth that your body is a vessel of sacred energy, a reservoir of power that was never meant to be thrown away carelessly. Ancient traditions like Taoism call this life force Jing, and it's considered the very essence of your vitality. When you waste it, especially through compulsive habits like masturbation, you're not just losing fluid, you're leaking the very oil that keeps your inner lamp burning. Think of this inner energy like a sacred fire at the center of your soul. When it burns brightly, your eyes shine, your thoughts are sharp, your presence is magnetic. But every time you indulge in unchecked release, you're tossing water on that flame. And this isn't about shame or repression, it's about awareness. The spirit within you is sensitive, and excessive masturbation dulls that sensitivity like static on a divine frequency. In the East, monks would go years, even decades, preserving this essence. Why? Because they knew that Jing, this primal force, is the seed of spiritual awakening. It nourishes not only the body, but also the third eye, the intuition, the soul's gateway to higher truth. The secret here is that this isn't about denial, it's about transmutation. Masturbation, when mindless, becomes a trap. But that same urge, when redirected, becomes the fuel for miracles. And this is where it all begins, understanding that your energy is sacred, that the reason you might feel drained, lost, or spiritually numb isn't because you lack something. It's because you've been giving away your divine inheritance drop by drop. Masturbation is killing your connection to Source, but not because it's evil, because it's misunderstood. So the question isn't whether you should stop, but whether you're ready to awaken. Your body is not just flesh and blood, it's an alchemical temple. And every time you release semen through masturbation, you're not just letting go of a moment of pleasure. You're expelling a sacred elixir. This fluid contains more than 200 proteins, vital amino acids, B12, C, E, zinc, magnesium, and even trace elements that support brain function. It's no exaggeration to say it's the most nutrient-rich substance your body produces. But here's the secret no one talks about. It takes weeks to replenish fully. Each drop is forged in the deepest chambers of your being, pulling from your organs, your bones, your mind. Now imagine that depth being depleted daily. It's no wonder so many feel tired, foggy, anxious, disconnected. We call it depression or fatigue, but often it's the spirit gasping for fuel. Masturbation is killing your subtle body, not instantly, but through slow erosion, like wind on stone. Semen retention isn't about repression, it's about restoration. Just as you wouldn't drain a car's oil before a long journey, you shouldn't casually waste this power before your soul's evolution. With each day of conscious retention, your voice deepens, your focus sharpens, your confidence expands. It's not magic. It's biology infused with spirit. The very act of holding this power starts to rewire your mind toward clarity and purpose. This is the silent secret behind ancient warriors, monks and sages. They guarded their seed not because of superstition, but because they knew what it unlocked. Semen isn't just sexual, it's spiritual. And when retained, it nourishes intuition, renews your aura, and aligns you with higher frequencies. The question is, how long have you been draining yourself without even realizing it? Imagine your body as a divine machine, like a chariot designed for the soul's journey. Without Jing, without that core energy preserved within, the wheels begin to rust. The ancient Taoists believed that the power stored in semen could be transformed into heightened perception, spiritual awareness, and even physical brilliance. When masturbation becomes compulsive, it's like drilling holes in the fuel tank. You're moving, but always running on empty. And the secret is, most people don't even realize they've accepted a lesser version of themselves. When this energy is protected and circulated rather than released, something magical happens. Your thoughts become more ordered, your emotions more grounded, and your body responds with strength and agility. Athletes, artists, and monks have all tapped into this wellspring, some unknowingly, others by ancient design. Because this isn't just about avoiding masturbation, it's about elevating the very foundation of your being. The spirit thrives in a body that honors its temple. The metaphors aren't accidental. Oil in the engine, fire in the belly, light in the eyes. These are echoes of a truth our ancestors knew deep in their bones. That to waste this sacred essence is to dim the light of the soul. You may still function, you may still smile, but you're not radiating. You're surviving instead of soaring. The killing of your spirit happens not in one moment, but in a lifetime of small leaks. So what happens when you reverse the flow? When you begin to reclaim what was once lost? Your skin glows, your posture straightens, your thoughts penetrate deeper layers of meaning. The world responds differently to someone walking with full life force. And beneath it all, a quiet knowing rises. This is what I was meant to feel like. The secret isn't abstinence, it's alignment. There's a quiet cost to frequent ejaculation that modern society refuses to admit. Every time it happens, especially through casual masturbation, it triggers a flood of dopamine, a quick synthetic reward. But as this happens over and over, your brain begins to numb. It stops responding the same way to real joy, real love, real presence. The spirit isn't just dimmed, it's drugged into silence. When dopamine receptors become desensitized, life feels dull, food loses flavor, relationships feel distant, motivation evaporates. You begin to seek stronger and stranger stimulation just to feel something. And that hunger, that restlessness, it's the echo of a soul begging to come home. Masturbation is killing your inner fire slowly, making you a slave to shadows rather than a student of light. Biochemically, your testosterone levels drop, affecting your strength, clarity, and drive. Emotionally, you begin to feel less connected, not only to others, but to your own purpose. It's like the compass within you starts spinning, never pointing north. And while society normalizes this spiral, the ancient ones warned us, pleasure without purpose destroys. The body can survive, but the spirit forgets how to soar. In sports, in business, in prayer, those who shine tend to guard their seed, not with fear, but with reverence. They understand that this energy powers everything from decision-making to divine insight. The secret isn't suppression, it's conservation. The moment you start leaking less, you start glowing more, and the deeper mystery. It's not just about what you're losing, it's about what you've never even tasted. Behind the screen lies one of the darkest traps of our era, pornography. It doesn't just affect your eyes, it rewires your brain, feeding a digital fantasy that never truly satisfies. Pair that with frequent masturbation, and you've created a loop that hijacks your nervous system. The brain begins to crave more stimulation, while your real-world capacity for connection and intimacy fades. Slowly, subtly, this addiction starts killing your spirit. What begins as curiosity becomes conditioning. You're no longer turned on by reality. You're bonded to illusion. The warmth of human touch, the beauty of presence, the power of real eye contact, all begin to feel distant. You find yourself disconnected not just from others, but from yourself. Masturbation in this context becomes a form of spiritual self-harm, pleasure that leaves you emptier each time. Even more dangerous is the emotional disconnection. You become numb to joy, resistant to peace, agitated by silence. Your ability to bond, to truly feel, is compromised. It's not just that you're wasting physical energy, it's that your inner landscape is drying up. Porn doesn't just excite the body, it poisons the soul. And the secret that no one wants to admit: most men are walking around spiritually hollow, but pretending to be whole. Healing begins when you break the cycle, when you remove the stimulus and feel the discomfort, not as punishment, but as purification. Your brain will resist, your ego will scream, but your spirit, it will whisper, "Thank you." This is the beginning of your return. The moment you turn off the screen, you start turning back toward your source. When you stop draining your essence, something extraordinary starts happening. The mind sharpens, as if someone lifted a fog that you didn't even know was there. Your body begins to hum with a quiet power. Posture improves, skin clears, eyes become more alive. Semen retention isn't just about what you're not doing, it's about what you're becoming. This is the secret hidden beneath centuries of mystical traditions. Your energy is your spirit in motion. Testimonies echo across time and cultures. Men report stronger voices, more confidence, better sleep, and a surge in creative inspiration. Even the body heals faster, responds better to training, and radiates magnetism that others can feel. It's like you're remembering something ancient buried in your DNA. And the connection is clear. Masturbation was never evil, but frequent release was killing your evolutionary fire. Spiritually, this practice activates something deeper. The Eastern mystics call it Kundalini, the coiled serpent energy at the base of the spine. When sexual energy is not expelled but refined, it rises, opening the chakras and awakening divine awareness. Suddenly you begin to see, not with your eyes, but with your soul. Life becomes textured, rich, meaningful. The fire you once scattered becomes your sacred fuel. And perhaps most astonishing of all, even pleasure transforms. Orgasms become full-body experiences, not limited to seconds, but expanding into waves of energy that ripple through your being. This isn't fiction. It's ancient fact rediscovered. The spirit rejoices when your temple is honored. And semen retention is one of the clearest ways to say, "I remember who I am." Knowing the truth is powerful, but applying it changes everything. Ancient wisdom offers more than just theory. It gives tools. Taoist and Tantric masters develop practices that allow you to harness sexual energy without losing it. One such technique is ejaculation, a method of drawing energy inward rather than expelling it. It's not about repression, it's about redirection, a sacred martial art of the spirit. Breathwork becomes your sword. Deep, slow inhales through the nose while contracting the pelvic floor. This alone can raise energy upward. Combine that with visualization. Imagine a golden current rising from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. As the urge for masturbation rises, meet it with breath and intention, not shame. The secret here is that desire isn't the enemy, it's the gateway. Meditation amplifies the effect. Sitting in stillness after arousal, while breathing and visualizing energy moving up, can transmute lust into power. Books like The Multi-Orgasmic Man or Taoist Secrets of Love can be life-changing guides for those ready to walk this path. These aren't gimmicks, They're blueprints from traditions that revered the spirit, not suppressed it. What seems mystical is often just misunderstood biology, and don't underestimate the power of movement. Yoga, qigong, even intense physical training helps circulate energy so it doesn't stagnate. Masturbation tends to spike when energy builds up and has nowhere to go, but when you channel it, through breath, sweat, and focused creation, you step into the temple of mastery. And the secret. Every technique is a mirror, showing you just how much divine power was within you all along. Desire is not your enemy. It's a raw, untamed force begging to be elevated. When sexual energy rises, you have a choice: to release it outward through masturbation or to transmute it into something sacred. That's the forgotten path of spiritual warriors, artists, and prophets alike. The energy that creates life can also write symphonies, build empires, sculpt muscles, or craft prayers that shake heaven. The secret is learning to channel rather than chase. When you feel that familiar pull, the craving, the tension, the urge, pause. Don't suppress it. Instead, breathe into it, thank it, and redirect it. Open your journal. Paint, dance, train, create. This is how energy becomes destiny. Each time you choose transmutation over masturbation, you affirm that your spirit is stronger than your impulse. And slowly, something shifts. Your life stops reacting and starts becoming. Some of the greatest inventions, performances, and spiritual awakenings came from this very choice. Nikola Tesla, Muhammad Ali, even monks who lived in silent forests, they all understood that energy was currency. You either spend it on momentary highs or invest it in something that outlives you. That's not discipline, it's devotion. You're not killing your desire. You're freeing it from the prison of lower expression. And here's the deeper mystery. The more you transmute, the more energy you generate. It becomes a cycle of power rather than depletion. Your presence begins to speak louder than your words. People notice something different, even if they can't explain it. That's the spirit resurrected. Masturbation was never the enemy. Forgetting your sacred potential was. And now, you're beginning to remember. Have you ever wondered why the world is constantly flooding your senses with sexual images, billboards, ads, social media, all designed to keep your energy leaking? This isn't by accident. The secret is, society profits from your weakness. If you're constantly distracted by masturbation and lust, you're easier to control, to numb, to sell to. It's not about pleasure, it's about power, and yours is being stolen. When you're drained, you don't rebel, you don't pray with fire, you don't create art that changes the world or challenge systems that enslave minds. You scroll, consume, and repeat. But when you retain your energy, when you keep that sacred oil burning, you see through the illusion. The spirit becomes awake. Masturbation isn't just killing your vitality. It's taming your revolution. Reclaiming your energy is more than self-help. It's a spiritual rebellion. It's a refusal to let society define your worth through dopamine hits and artificial highs. It's saying, I am not a puppet, I am a temple. And when enough people say that, when enough men awaken, the world changes, not with violence, but with presence, with clarity, with divine certainty. This is your initiation into sovereignty. Every day you choose semen retention. You're unplugging from the matrix. You're choosing purpose over passivity. You're standing where few dare to stand, face to face with the forces trying to dim your spirit. And this is the secret they never wanted you to know. You were born with divine fire, and they fear what happens if you remember. So now the choice is in your hands, not just an idea or a theory, but an invitation. Go 30 days without masturbation. No porn, no leaks, no lies to yourself. This isn't about perfection, it's about awareness, about watching what happens when you hold the power that's been spilling out of you for years. You'll face cravings, dreams, moments of weakness, but with each day, you'll also feel something coming back. like a voice in the wind that was always yours. Strength, clarity, a deep pulse of spirit beneath the noise. You'll start to remember how good it feels to be fully alive, and that secret, it was never lost, just buried beneath the habit. Document everything. Write about your dreams, your thoughts, your emotions. Observe how your body changes, how your mind responds. Watch how people begin to treat you differently, as if they can feel something in you that words can't capture, because they can. The spirit returns in silence before it roars in power. This isn't just a challenge, it's a resurrection, a declaration that your energy is yours, that your spirit is sacred, that you will no longer be a slave to impulses that leave you empty. 30 days can shift your entire timeline. Are you ready to break the spell and become who you were meant to be? You've just begun to scratch the surface of a truth that could change everything. The moment you choose to hold your energy instead of release it, you begin reclaiming your life. Your focus sharpens. Your emotions balance. Your spirit stirs. This isn't theory, it's transformation, and it's waiting for you on the other side of discipline. So try it, just for 30 days. See what happens when you treat your sexual energy not as a burden, but as sacred currency. Journal your thoughts. Notice the shifts in your relationships, your sleep, your strength, your soul. Watch how the world responds to a man who carries his light with intention. And then ask yourself, what else have I been giving away without question? What other parts of my power have I forgotten to protect? You weren't meant to live half-lit. You weren't born to crawl when you could fly. The secret is no longer hidden. The only question is, what will you do with it? If this video spoke to something deep within you, I invite you to subscribe. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the next awakening. And more than anything, thank you for choosing to walk this path. The world needs more men who remember who they are.